All right, so I'm going to work the first 5 problems in the 2008 AP exam, the multiple choice section, and this is the non-calculator portion. So number 1, you're asked to find a limit at infinity, and for limits at infinity we use Bobo, Botno, Eats DC. Remember, you're going to compare the degree of the numerator with the degree of the denominator. So in this fraction, the numerator and denominator are factored. So you have to think about what would be the highest power of x if it wasn't factored on the top and bottom. So on the top, we would have negative 2x squared. And on the bottom, we would have x squared. So this is an Eats DC. The exponents are the same. So we divide coefficients. Negative 2 divided by 1 is negative 2. All right. So now down to number 2. All right, so here we're integrating 1 over x squared. We do not have a quotient rule for integrals. And so what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this as the integral of x to the negative 2. dx. And we add 1 to the exponent, divide by the new exponent, and we get d. All right, number 3. All right, number 3, we're asked to take the derivative of this function. We're going to be using a couple of our derivative rules. We've got a product of 2 functions. We've got x minus 1 times x squared plus 2 cubed. And that x squared plus 2 cubed, that's a composite function. It's one function inside of another one, so we're also going to have to use the chain rule. All right, so the product rule says we do the first function times the derivative of the second function. And when we do the derivative of the second function, we're doing the chain rule. The chain rule says we do the derivative of the outside, we leave the inside alone, and we multiply by the derivative of the inside. So this is the first d last part of the product rule. Plus last d first. Okay, so this is the derivative. If I clean it up a little bit, I'm going to have 6x, right, because 3 times 2x is 6x. 6x times x minus 1 times x squared plus 2 squared plus x squared plus 2 cubed, which is not one of the answer choices. The answer choices are all in factored form. All of the answer choices, everything is multiplied together. There's no addition or subtraction between the factors. This one, we have addition. We have 2 terms here. So we have to factor this. So when you look at the 2 terms, what they have in common is this x squared plus 2 factor. So we can factor out an x squared plus 2 squared. So that'll cancel that out of this first term and leave me with 6x times x minus 1. And then that'll cancel all but one of them out of this term. So we would have x squared plus 2 left. And so if I simplify inside the parentheses there, I'll get 6x squared minus 6x plus x squared plus 2. So that's going to be 7x squared minus 6x plus 2, which would be d. All right, number 4. Number 4, we're integrating. And because we are integrating composite functions, we've got the sine of 2x, the cosine of 2x, so we have 2x inside of the sine and cosine functions. We're going to have to do u substitution. And we're going to make the 2x be u. So the derivative of that is 2. So we're going to have to give ourselves a 2 and balance it with a 1/2. So I'm going to rewrite this as 1/2 sine u plus cosine u du. So 1/2 cosine u minus sine u. No. Negative cosine u plus sine u. Plus c. So it's going to be b. All right, last one. You should always try substitution first on a limit problem. So if I plug 0 in, I get 0 plus 0 over 0 minus 0. That means there's a hole in the graph. So we need to factor and cancel. Then sub. So if I factor this, I get this. Those cancel. Now I can plug 0 in.